I'm just going to point out the important parts. Let's get into it. What up, y'all? It's your girl, Jasmine Nicole, and welcome to Weight with Jazz, a safe space for the obese, the overweight, those who just want to lose weight, and myself to share our weight journeys and a little bit of my life, too. Quick recap, I used to be 284 pounds. 12 years ago, I lost 115 pounds, kept it off for the most part, entered into a weight stall and a slight weight surplus, so I start gradually gaining the weight back, not entirely, but little and little at a time, until I made the decision to go ahead and address my final 40-pound weight loss through GLP1 medication, brand name Zepbound, and now I'm currently on Tirzepatide compound. So that's where I'm at. This video is about the Lilly letter. The Lilly letter that was sent out to the consumer base, dated June 20th, 2024. And I'm just going to briefly roll through it. The important parts. I want to point out the language that compromises or discredits compound pharmacies. But briefly before I get to that part, I'm going to read the introduction. Lilly is committed to making life better for people living with diabetes and obesity through developing medications that change the way healthcare providers can treat these diseases. The development and approvals of Mounjaro and Zepbound demonstrate our continued commitment to this mission. We are guided every day by our founder, Colonel Eli Lilly's saying when 100 years ago he affixed his signature as a logo to our medicines. If it bears a red lily, it's right. For those reasons and for the safety of the patients we serve, we wish to respond to certain practices we are seeing from others related to our Tirzepatide medicines, Mounjaro and Zepbound, to ensure they are prescribed, obtained, and used safely and appropriately. Please see the topics below. So these are the topics highlighted in this letter: inappropriate use for cosmetic use, inappropriate use for people under 18. Mounjaro and Zepbound are the only FDA-approved Tirzepatide medications. Unsafe online and social media ads highlighting illegal online pharmacies, research purposes, quote-unquote products, misleading advertisements. Always consult with your healthcare provider. Also, non-Lilly Tirzepatide can put people at risk. This taps into the compound market. This is the one I'm going to be paying a lot attention to. Fake products, unsafe compound products, and identifying genuine Lilly products. So I'm just going to skip on over to page 2, the highlighted language. Lilly does not know where compounding pharmacies or other sellers are obtaining the Tirzepatide active ingredient they are selling. So I'm going to read this part from the beginning. Lilly is the only lawful supplier of FDA-approved Tirzepatide medications, Mounjaro and Zepbound, and does not provide Tirzepatide, the active ingredient in Mounjaro and Zepbound, to compounding pharmacies, med spas, wellness centers, online retailers, or other manufacturers. Lilly does not know where compounding pharmacies or other sellers are obtaining the Tirzepatide active ingredient they are selling. This is a low-key discredit. This is a discreditation, or discredit, let me stop making up words. Low-key discredit to the compound market and to a person interpreting this. One could assume that, okay, trusting Lilly's way, because Lilly is the right way, right? If Lilly doesn't know where these compound pharmacies are getting their Tirzepatide, then that means they're unsafe. Because going back to the logo and the model for the medicines is if it bears a red lily, it's right. Compound medication doesn't bear a lily, so that alludes that it's not right. Follow me on this. So that was a low ball to the compound market. Let's get back in there. Now there are pharmacies now, to some of the credit of this letter, I definitely do not agree with fly-by-night pharmacies entering in the industry and not following the rules, not providing credentials, not providing medically accredited staff to run an operation, and especially when we're dealing with these 503A, which requires a prescription. So if it's not requiring a prescription, it's not a 503B pharmacy, which doesn't require a prescription because it's mass produced to go to hospitals, etc. It's a 503A, and it should include physician, a doctor, to write a prescription. If it does not, I definitely don't agree with that being the safe means for GLP1 compound medication. So I'm in agreement with Lilly on contesting that, because that is a cause for concern. Some of these companies are just flying in on the money train and can be doing all types of concoctive mixtures with these compounds. And if you have not done your research and made sure that these pharmacies are accredited enough by state guidelines, then there can be some issues. So I'm not in agreement with that. Be safe. Also, the highlighted fact that there are products labeled research purposes only, and people are taking risks and putting this in their bodies. Also, not for human consumption. People are taking risks and putting it in their bodies. This letter is stating, of course, Lilly is not behind such products, like this, because Lilly is branded and Lilly's product is FDA approved. But this has to be addressed because this is ridiculous, and I've seen this online. I can't imagine, just using logic, people will want to put something in their body that says not for human consumption. I mean, that just shows clearly the desperation out here, whether it's for vanity reasons or just truly for medical reasons to try to attain this medication. Anyway, moving on to the real cusp of this. Non-Lilly Tirzepatide can put people at risk. This is what I'm looking for. Non-Lilly Tirzepatide can put people at risk. This alludes to any Tirzepatide medication not branded by Lilly may be unsafe. Because if it's not sealed with Lilly, it's not right. If it doesn't bear a Lilly seal, it's not right. That's what the logo says. And this is the feeding this information in here and conditioning it with hints of fear tactics and all type of stuff, but ultimately to preserve the consumer brand base. Any products marketed simply as Tirzepatide, as opposed to Mounjaro and Zepbound, were not made by, studied by, or sold by Lilly and are not FDA approved. Beware that when you purchase products that are not FDA approved medicines or obtain medicines from an unverified source or without a prescription from a licensed health provider, you may be purchasing fake, counterfeit, or otherwise unsafe products. I don't discredit this entirely. There is some truth to this, as far as not verifying the source, not verifying the pharmacy, not verifying the telehealth company, and again, going back around to not verifying the pharmacy, doing your research. Even you can even pull up the FDA sites and type in the pharmacy name, and the history of examinations will come up. Examinations that were conducted by the FDA. Now, we didn't say that these pharmacies are FDA approved, but they are regulated to some sort, in addition to state regulated. This is based off of my information. So I don't know. Yeah, that's straight up. I think that's more of a scare tactic. But if you do cross your T's and dot your I's, and you go with the reputable pharmacies, compound pharmacies, you minimize the purchasing fake, counterfeit, or otherwise unsafe products. Boy, let's get on to the next. What we got here? Addressing online ads may be inaccurate or misleading. Some sellers of compound Tirzepatide promote the potential health benefits of their products. For example, stating they will lead to easy weight management without disclosing any potential side effects or safety risk of their products. These same online sellers may also make claims that their non-injection, oral, under the tongue, nasal spray Tirzepatide products are effective without any scientific support or testing to support those claims. Now, y'all, like I said, I do my best to try to, I don't know if I said that already. I did a number of takes. But please forgive the background noise. I'm in the city. I primarily shoot in the city in different locations, and no matter where you go, especially when you're outside, it's inevitable. People are moving around. It's a city culture thing. People are going to be in the background. You're going to hear random conversations. So I do my best to silence stuff out with this, and it does what it can do. But, you know, and it's so I could be a little bit more clear in the mic as I do, you know, my random locations to shoot, which I really do enjoy. I hope you enjoy too. I like being out and about. So just keep that in mind, y'all. Keep that in mind. I apologize for the background noise, and when I have to elevate my voice because a siren comes through, you know that's the reason why. All right, not keep you too much longer because I'm not going through all this. It was just specific points in regards to the compound pharmacy I really wanted to address. So, bam, I agree. I don't think sellers should be falsifying and providing misleading information to get consumers to purchase a compound Tirzepatide and not disclose potential health effects. I mean, from the information and commercials I've seen, I believe I've seen it disclosed, but I can't say for certain every ad I've seen they have said side effects. No, it hasn't been. It's been really glee and glorious advertising campaigns targeting primarily the woman demographic and targeting the black demographic. Now, I'm going to be real with you and woke about that. Whether you agree or not, just think and look at the ads as they come through, especially from these telehealth companies. The primary image you are seeing is the gender of a woman and the demographic race being black. So you'll see a woman, and a woman can be of any race, can be of a non-black race. That's the gender target, is a woman in general. Then there's another racial target, and that's the black demographic. That's all I'm gonna say on that. Y'all take that for what you will. You know, I just throw in bits and pieces on what I've been thinking, okay? What I pick up, okay? So if you picking up what I'm putting down, say less. So on to this final. Online sellers of compound tirzepatide also sometimes claim that their tirzepatide is manufactured in FDA-approved facilities. However, there is no such thing as an FDA-approved manufacturing facility. And FDA regulations expressly prohibit anyone from making the claim precisely because it is misleading and constitutes misbranding. I don't think I completely agree with this claim, but partial. I believe there aren't any FDA approved compound facilities. No, they're not FDA approved compound facilities, but I do believe they are FDA regulated to some extent compound facilities. And here's my logic. So the FDA approves GLP1 compound medications such as tirzepatide and semaglutide, approves the use of it, but without regulatory oversight by the FDA on any level. I mean, does that make sense to you? To me, it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. That the FDA will allow the people to consume a GLP-1 compound medication from a compound pharmacy. But without regulatory oversight by the FDA of any kind. I don't believe that. There is some type of oversight. Of course, there's state oversight. There are state regulations that these compound pharmacies have to abide by, because if you notice, your compound pharmacies can be in different varied states. And each state has, I'm sure, compound state guidelines to dispense this medication. But also, in addition, if you go on the FDA site, you're able to type in compound pharmacies and able to pull reports of when they have been examined. Now, I'm not saying whether they are approved or not, but they have went through some type of testing. So that's why I'm saying I discredit this here. I really do. But I do agree that no, right, that's absolutely correct. There aren't any FDA approved facilities, compound facilities. But there are compound facilities that are still regulated by the FDA in some way. And that's off my own personal information. When I looked up the pharmacy from my healthcare provider, I looked it up through the FDA site. So I understand this is business, and this is a strong way to get your message out to your consumer base, and then highlighting pretty much that he was pretty much a veteran in the service, in the military service, kind of adds some more heightened accreditation for the consumer base to trust in Lilly's product only and don't trust any other. But here's the thing, I didn't read anything addressing the financial situation that insurance limitations are causing, or anything addressing possibly a slight decrease in the price of the medication until we can get a better, resolution with insurance on the table. I didn't hear anything about relieving the financial strain. I didn't hear anything about possibly knocking $150 off of the $550 price after the savings card discount. I didn't hear about making this $350 so maybe you can get some of your consumer base back. Because I'm sure if it was $350 for the 4 pens, people will work that out. So the point is, that's not what this is. It's urgent of concern, yes, for those companies falsely advertising Zepbound or Mounjaro as Zepbound and Mounjaro, and it not being that, it being a compound or being something else, being misleading. That's a grave concern, so I understand the need to release a letter to the people. But I think the letter to the people should have been a little bit more well-rounded and detailed, touching everything. Not just what promotes Lilly. Because what I got out of this letter, what I take from the Lilly letter is, do not use non-Lilly Tirzepatide. Only use Tirzepatide by Lilly because it's right. Do not use Tirzepatide products labeled not for human consumption or for research purposes only. I agree with that. That was like really mainly the only important component of this letter that I agreed with is stop falsifying the brand and these companies coming out with unverified sources of GLP1 medication and labeling it as this and labeling it as that. I'm definitely in disagreement with that. But the other stuff, I think, were heavy embellishments. The letter is an important warning. It's an important warning and effort to deter GLP1 compound users in order to preserve the Lilly brand. I'm gonna get at y'all the next video. Be real, boo.